this whole thing started with a pen and a paper. One day, I was sitting in my corporate job, which I hated. I was never very good at anyway. And I had to give a presentation, which I don't like doing. Believe it or not, even speaking into a camera like this, it makes me anxious. It makes me nervous. I've gotten better at it through the years because I've had to do a lot of it. But I still get nervous about it. And I was really nervous doing a presentation in front of other people. I had to go through numbers and all of that stuff. So anyway, I was miserable. And I was sitting down like maybe half an hour before that presentation, and I got out a pen and paper, and I wish I'd kept this paper because it was just this is such a turning point in my life. But I just started writing a list of things that made me happy. And I don't know why I did it. Nobody told me to do it. I just felt like I had things in my head, happiness floating around, little ideas, and I wanted to just put it on paper because somehow it would make it tangible if I could put ink to paper. I didn't want to type it out either. There was something different about something in the real world that I could hold that says, this is the stuff that makes me happy. So I did that. And I wrote things like, I don't remember what it's all very disconnected. Some of it was like foods I liked, but then I got into, like, at that time social media was still kind of new, so I wrote down like online communities. I was into it. I was interested in it, and playing guitar, teaching people, helping people, and creating online communities and social media and online marketing. I was kind of interested in that. And I would, I'd watch videos, what little bit there were back then. I'd watch them and I would read books on it and books on entrepreneurship. And I knew there was a part of me that was being pulled into that. But anyway, my point in this is I wrote it down and I stared at this list and I stared at it and I stared at it. And all of a sudden, it was like one of the most pivotal moments of my life when I realized what I needed to do next. I needed to be teaching people how to play guitar, which was bizarre because I had never taught anybody. I still, to this day, I've never really, other than my son, who's shown an interest in guitar, other than him, I've never really sat down one-on-one with somebody and showed them how to play. So I had no qualifications. I was an okay player, but I wasn't the best. I wasn't great. I was, So what gave me this motivation to do this, or the permission to do that, I have no idea. I don't know where that came from. But I think it was the list, actually. The list somehow was like magic. It was like a magic spell or a potion that somebody had given me that said, if you want these things on the list, the things that make you happy, you know what to do now. Like it was like, it was God-given, I guess. It was just, like a light shone on this list. So I knew what to do next. And when I did that, YouTube was still kind of new, and I thought, well, I'll make a video. That's what I'll do. I'll put one video out and I'll see how it does. And I'll make a little course, and we'll talk more about all that. I'll tell you more about how that ended up going. But anyway, that list was a tangible thing that I could hold in my hand. It was my happiness. I was holding it. And so if you've got something that you want to do, it doesn't have to be business. This could be anything. If you want to lose weight, if you want to, find a relationship with somebody, whatever you want to do, something that you've always wanted, write it down. There's power in seeing it on paper. There's power in the physical act of the pen touching the paper and your hand making the pen spell out what you want. Because what you're doing is you're taking these ideas that are floating around in your head and you're pulling them into the real world just by writing it down. It seems stupid. It's like, well, I know what makes me happy. Why would I put it on paper? There's something different about putting it on paper. So there's a lot of other things we could talk about with what you do with that paper, but that's the first step. If you're not sure where this is going, and as I'll be making more videos and we'll talk more about all of this stuff. But if you're not sure, what you need to be doing, just write down the things that make you happy. Write down the things you enjoy and start just thinking about that. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen to you the way it happened to me, but something magical happens in that realm. Or if you already know what you want to do, write it down anyway, because something will happen in that process of coming from the head to the paper, from your mind into the real world, something magical happens. And I'm a big believer in it. It's happened to me, not just in that instance, that was the biggest one, but it's happened many times where if I'm not sure about something, if I just sit down and I write it out, even if it's a problem, something I'm worried about, when I see it, somehow it looks different on paper. So I hope that's helped somebody. I know that's kind of like not any groundbreaking thing, but it really kind of is. It's just so simple that, maybe you've never tried it. But I'm telling you, if you're struggling with something, you want to do something, you want to start a business, you want to lose weight, you've got something you want to do, write it down. Just write down what you want or what makes you happy. Even if you don't know what the end goal of that is, just write it down. And it'll start to present itself through paper. So anyway, that's this first video. And this is me starting, by the way. This is me just sort of getting something out there and starting this whole dialogue. If you've got questions, first of all, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If I get like 10, I'll be happy. In the beginning, it's really hard to sort of get the ball rolling. But if you've got a comment or you've got a question about something, leave a comment. I want this to be sort of open dialogue, not just me talking to you, but maybe we can help each other with this stuff and kind of see where this goes. All right, we'll see you in the next video.